Case closed.
We've never been able to confirm any connection between Iraq and 9/11.
And the meeting with Atta did not occur.
We don't know. I mean, we've never been able to link it, and the FBI and CIA have worked it aggressively. I would say at this point nobody has been able to confirm.
Then why in the lead up to the war was there the constant linkage between Iraq and Al-Qaeda?
That's a different issue. Now, there's a question of whether or not Al-Qaeda or whether or not Iraq was involved in 9/11. There's a separate and apart from that, it's the issue of whether or not there was a historic relationship between Iraq and Al-Qaeda. The basis for that is probably best captured in George Tenet's testimony before the Senate Intel Committee in open session, where he said specifically that there was a pattern, a relationship that went back at least a decade between Iraq and Al-Qaeda.
But the president said they were working in concert, giving the strong suggestion to the American people that they were involved in September 11th.
No, there are two totally different propositions here, and people have consistently tried to confuse them. And it's important, I think, that there's a third proposition as well, too, and that is Iraq's traditional position as a strong sponsor of terror. So you've got Iraq and 9/11, no evidence that there's a connection. You've got Iraq and Al-Qaeda, testimony from the director of CIA that there was indeed a relationship. Zarqawi in Baghdad, etc. Then the third
committee said that there was no relationship. In fact, Saddam.
I haven't seen the report. I haven't had a chance to read it yet.
But Mr. Vice President, the bottom line is
we know that Zarqawi, running a terrorist camp in Afghanistan prior to 9/11, after we went into 9/11, then fled and went to Baghdad and set up operations in Baghdad in the spring of '02 and was there from then basically until the time we launched into Iraq.
The bottom line is the rationale given to the American people was that Saddam had weapons of mass destruction, and he could give those weapons of mass destruction to Al-Qaeda, and we could have another September 11th. And now we read that there is no evidence, according to the Senate Intelligence Committee, of that relationship. You said there's no involvement. The president says there's no involvement.
Tim, no involvement in what respect?
In September 11th. Okay. And the CIA said, leading up to the war, that the possibility of Saddam using weapons of mass destruction was low, quote unquote. It appears that there was a deliberate attempt made by the administration to link Al-Qaeda in Iraq in the minds of the American people and use it as a rationale to go into Iraq.